All right, bang, bang. Today is Thursday. It is February 11th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Surprise, surprise. Chief is back.
I'm back. I'm back. The champion, dog walk champion, snake draft champion for most miserable days of the year. And we got one of them coming up this weekend. That's what we're talking about today. I think Carl drafted Valentine's Day, but that's what we're doing here, right?
Wow, how about that? You couldn't wait to get your parade. You couldn't wait. You're going to get another parade in the
I
draft
mean,
the
it's
next
official
Monday.
as of like 2 hours ago when we're recording it. It's news. It's news right now.
What's that number 4 for you?
I'll take a little 3-lap now.
Yeah, you
Say
can
that
do
again.
that. What's that number 4 for you?
Yeah, 4 or 5. I mean, who's keeping track? It's all about just doing things the right way, having principle, integrity, all of that. And hopefully the voters recognize that. And this time they did. They're coming around. They're getting smarter.
Yeah. I know your narrative. Don't worry, bud.
I mean, it's all about it's just telling the truth. This is just telling the truth. So
yeah. So yeah, like you said, we little different episode today. It's going to be kind of like a free skate, free swim. We're talking a little Valentine's Day because obviously it's Sunday. I think we might do a little massacre, a little history, a little talk about how much it sucks. Who knows? We're just going to kind of shoot the shit here for 20 minutes. We really typically don't do this, but why not? We could do this once in a while, right?
For sure. And I mean, I got notes. We could kind of treat it like we got some interesting factoids in there about
like
Valentine's Day and the history of it. And, you know, it's kind of similar to some of the other ones is what I'm realizing is that it actually has its roots in some other Roman holiday. And the Christians were like, we got to fill that time slot. We got to come in with our own thing. And that's kind of where Valentine's Day became a thing.
Wow.
I didn't know that until 15 minutes ago. So that's news. That's news to me too.
Any other good factoids on that?
Yeah, I mean, we could just start from the beginning, like the actual myth of it. Like, I don't know how much is true. I didn't know this either, that there's 2 different guys in the Catholic Church that have been canonized as Saint Valentine or Valentine. Like, there's 2 of them. So everyone and nobody knows which one is actually which, and like their stories kind of like blend together. I think that kind of happened with St. Patrick too, where there's just like it's like multiple people over a history of time. They kind of just have this amalgamation of these different stories and like, let's just press it all into one, and that'll be St. Valentine. But there's actually 2 guys in the Catholic Church history. But the guy most famously associated was this guy who was around in the time of Claudius II. Claudius II was a Roman emperor from 268 to 270, so a pretty short reign. But in that time, he was looking around at his army, and this is kind of, not necessarily like the height of the Roman Empire. So he's looking around. He's like, man, my army's just getting soft. And he thought it was all because that he had soldiers who were married. He's like, these guys, they won't like risk their life for Rome. They want to go back and have their wives and their children. So he said for all Roman soldiers, like if you were already married, you're grandfathered in. If you're a Roman soldier who's young, no marriages. So nobody's falling in love. I want nothing but single soldiers running into the battlefield with nothing pulling on their heartstrings back home so they can run head on into like a fucking German spear or whatever, whoever they're trying to conquer. And so he banned it. And then this guy, Valentine, comes along. And now this is, I think we said the Council of Nicaea happened in like 324. So this is like 70 years before that. So Christianity is still, it's not like the law of the land, but it's like at this point it's grown to where it's like a very common thing in Rome. So this one bishop, this Bishop Valentine, decided that he's going to start marrying people in private. And he's like, hey, if you're in love, you can come to me. We'll keep it a secret. We'll get you married. You can bang your wife and then go back off to fight for the legions in the Roman army. And he kept doing this and doing this and doing this. And eventually he got caught. So they bring him before the emperor. And the emperor is like, number 1, you have to apologize. Number 2, you have to promise to stop marrying people. And 3rd, you have to beg for forgiveness from the Roman God. So basically, you have to deny that Jesus Christ and, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, all that. You have to deny that it exists. And he wouldn't do it. So they threw him in jail. and sentenced him to death. And he's sitting there in this jail cell, and this girl keeps bringing him, the daughter of the jailer brings him his food and water every day. And they begin to have like this friendship, and then they have like a little romance. Like he's behind the bar, so like nothing like physical ever happens, but they like kind of fall in love, and he starts writing her love letters. And then at one point he like touches her eyelids because she's a blind girl. I don't know if I said that already, but she's blind. And then she gets her vision back. She's like, I can see. And then so he performs this miracle, and then his last little love note to her was on February 14th, because they did then go off and execute him. And he said, he signed it from your Valentine. And that's where we kind of start this whole myth tradition. And it didn't really become associated with love or like a big thing until the 1300s. It was made like a Valentine's Day became a thing in the 5th century. So now we're like after the Council of Nicaea, where the Catholic Church is like kind of swooping in to remove some of these like Roman holidays that people love and replace them with something else, like we talked about with the Christmas episode. So that happened in the 5th century. 1300s is when it's like it's like in the culture across Europe, and they thought February 14th is when it was birds mating season. So they thought that was like a little romantic like coincidence. So it became more and more about love because of that. And then 1600s, they started giving out like actual sending cards to their loved ones, like you do in like the tradition where you go in 1st grade and everybody gets a little Valentine on their desk on February 14th. That really, like, that tradition of sending those started in the 1600s. And then now you get to the point today where Americans spend $20 billion a day, or $20 billion a year on stuff for Valentine's Day. So all your roses, all your chocolates, all your special dinners, all this and that, the jewelry, all the shit that goes into that day costs Americans $20 billion. It's a big number for a bunch of bullshit. So, and like 220 million roses are produced for Valentine's Day, produced and sold. So if you're getting a dozen roses at $79.99 because they mark up the shit out of them on Valentine's Day, I mean, 220 million. We're probably looking at like $6 billion just in roses.
Well, I could tell you didn't listen to yesterday's episode yet.
I haven't yet. I saw the social clip where they're sending them out to mistresses and wives and things like that with the cards. Yeah, it was very troubling. I didn't know if I wanted to go back and listen to that.
It's not their fault. It's
not their fault.
The where they buy the roses from, they supply and demand. It's just so they have to charge more.
Hey, I get it. Like, make your money. I'm sure that's a big day for them. They said that more, it's like the 3rd biggest day for mail besides Christmas and Mother's Day, because people are sending, cards and flowers and chocolates and stuff in the mail. So, hey, make that money. I'm not mad at the florist. It's just, it's become a thing in our culture where everybody's got to participate. If you have something that's even like remotely resembling a girl that you're dating, you're in. You're married for 40 years, you're in. You just can't avoid it. It's like the stat I saw was that 65% of all Americans spend money and do something for Valentine's Day. And I think everyone else is just single. Like, that's got to be what the ratio is, right? Like, either you're in, either you're with somebody and you have to fucking do something, or you're single and you're just wishing that you had somebody to do something with, I think.
I don't get, what's the point of it? Because it should just be birthdays, right?
This is something different. You have to celebrate your love, Ed. This is not because it's supposed to be like
that's
reciprocal for both parties in the relationship, but everybody knows it's really just for the girl.
I don't know. You seem like a dude who loves flowers.
Buddy, I don't hate flowers at all. I got this big back deck. I think I'm buying like flower pots and stuff. We're going to dress it up a little bit out there this year. I don't hate flowers one bit. I don't think I've ever received flowers or been like, yeah, thank you for those flowers. I don't get it on that level, but that is a thing. I feel like you're shocked that I'm not a Valentine's Day guy.
I'm shocked. Actually, this is kind of a throwback too to year one of the dog walk when it was Chicago dog walk.
Mm-hmm.
It was month 2. So we're
Okay. Yeah.
probably week
Brand
4
new
or
at the
5. And you
job.
came on to talk Valentine's Day. Do you remember that?
I remember doing the episode. I have no idea what I said.
Fuck, we definitely should have listened before.
Should have listened to it. Because who knows? Like my whole sentiment has changed. Maybe I was like happier in a relationship back then. I could have been like, yeah, Valentine's Day is great. Now I'm like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Do you remember what I said?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't, but you
definitely guys always try to paint me as the romantic of the group. Like
because you are.
I don't know that. I mean, I do like having a girlfriend. I do like having a girlfriend. I don't know.
You're just such a fucking flannel wearing pumpkin patch going motherfucker. That's just who you are. And you know,
I don't think I've ever been to an actual, like, all this is fake news. Like, I don't think I've done the apple picking. I don't know if I've ever posed for an Instagram in a pumpkin patch. I don't think I've done that.
Really?
I don't think so. I do like flannel though. So like, I guess what you're basically telling me is that I look like a guy who's with his girlfriend and a golden retriever in a LL Bean catalog.
Pretty much.
That's how you picture me.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I don't think that. I think that's an unfair characterization. You know how we were talking on the snake draft where Dave is like, all I want to do is run around the bars and chase sixes.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to just like come home at night and have like an 8. And I would be very happy with that, like forever. If I could find the right 8, I'd be very happy with that. I like watching Dave do it and fail. I like going out with Dave to see him do that, but I'm not like smooth enough in public and bars. Like I need like months to like wear somebody down before they're like, oh yeah, maybe I should say yes to that guy for a date.
White Sox Dave, man.
He's been getting a lot of slander lately, actually. The Portnoy appearance, the Portnoy show rant about White Sox Dave was something else, an all-timer. I have it saved on my phone. He said that he wants to use Barstool's influence, this is Portnoy talking, to get Webster's dictionary to have a picture of White Sox Dave with the gum coming out of his mouth and his hair all matted down under the entry for Village Idiot, because he's just such a stupid person, according to Dave Portnoy. That's not what I said. That's what Dave Portnoy said. And you just laughed. I feel like you should send Dave a Valentine to make
White Sox Dave?
Yeah, to make up for that.
I won't be doing that. Did you like Valentine's Day? Actually, I didn't hate Valentine's Day in grammar school, like grade school.
It always made me nervous. Because it's like, yeah, because I was always very awkward and around the girls anyways. And I was always like hyper aware of like, oh, am I getting enough? Is the girl that I kind of have a crush on giving me one? And the answer was always no. The worst was when you got a little bit older, worse for me anyways, high school. I feel like this probably doesn't apply to you when you had your double stud earring backwards Kobe wearing days. But like when they would deliver them to you, like somebody would send them to you, and like in 6th period, you would get like a lollipop with a little Valentine on there. Did you guys have that? Oh no,
I went to an all guy school, but that was always like I don't want to say a try hard move, but that was always like hey, I did this move. Is when guys would go to like the all girls school, and they would like get into their locker early or something and leave. You know what I mean? That was like an all time. Like it's a lot of effort to make that happen.
Especially if it's a whole different school.
Oh yeah. Not close. Like got to talk to like a girl who like knows your combination, or, it's weird. Like when you're a guy or when you're a girl in one of those schools in reverse, it's always like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah. How do you even meet those girls?
That's kind of what it is, dude. It's like they go to all girls schools and and they just kind of meshes, a lot of it's through where we went to grammar schools. Like then you meet like a bunch of other, what I mean? From there.
Yeah.
Like his friends.
It's not like, do they have like organized like dances and stuff between the schools?
They do, but it wasn't like you didn't go to those. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Some people did. I didn't,
It's like Mother Macaulay, like those places.
Yeah. Res, Trinity. Like, yeah, those are big, like schools where if you're like, hey, all girls, all boys, it's like that's
Yeah.
you have each other. You know, that's pretty much how it works.
Yeah. Have you had to do like the big Valentine's Day?
Like the day of,
Yeah. Like
dude, I
for a
was thinking
girlfriend or
about that.
something
I
like
don't
that.
know. A lot of stuff blends in between like,
I
and I
know.
did you miss like the fucking promposal shit?
That was like just starting to become a thing. I remember most people some people do flowers. I remember this kid. I remember his last name, but not his first name.
Campbell Soup Kid.
No. Well, that we definitely did not have promposal at prep school.
Yeah.
I remember driving to St. Charles North School, and there was always like a big, I think it's called Redgate Road. There's always this big traffic jam as you're trying to make that right into the school parking lot. And there's usually a sign out front that had school announcements. And you're just driving. It's like, oh, like we got a football game. We got this, we got that. And then I remember like driving in one day and it was like, you know, hey, Jessica, will you go to prom with me? Nick. And it's like, oh, fuck you, Nick. Because and it was like that was the first one that was like a promposal, and that was like the talk of the school. Oh my god,
Yeah, that's one of the
sign?
worst thing that happened.
The worst. And
Those
I feel
things.
it's out of control now.
Oh yeah, it's like fucking like spelling out buying 80 Costco size bags of flaming hot Cheetos and like spelling shit out. Like they've gone too far. And
Kids today, and you know it's whose fault it is. It's social media.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because that guy Nick or whatever his name was that had the promposal sign on Redgate Road, that thing died right there. It was talked about in our school, and it's like, yeah, this guy's a fucking dickhead. Fuck him. But if he had taken a picture of that and posted on Facebook, now you got 50 of those kids, 100 of those kids across, you know, that see that and we're like, oh, I'm going to organize the same thing.
That's tough. Yeah, that's tough. Fuck Nick. But yeah, that's right. Like a lot of those kind of blend in. But there's actually one girl I'm still kind of friends with. I was kind of talking to, and I like she never lets me live it down. Like one year, I just ordered a pizza, and she still like is like that. You're the worst. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Would you spell it out in pepperoni or something?
No,
You mean
no, it might have been like heart shaped or something. But
okay.
I don't know. Like that was.
I remember the Rosati's would always have the big ads for that. Hey, Rosati's can get a heart shaped pizza for Valentine's Day.
I like White Castle does something too.
But what do they do? I've never been to a White Castle.
Really? Yeah. Well, not surprised.
Yeah.
They always have a funny sign out there like make your reservations now. It's kind of just a gag, you know.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna go there and whatnot? But no, I don't know. I mean, it just.
I mean, you might be better off going to a White Castle.
Probably. I mean, it's a Hallmark holiday, right? Isn't that what they say?
Yeah, I mean, it's a holiday that they just invented out of nowhere. It became a much bigger thing in the U.S. starting in like the 1850s. They started like mass producing these holiday cards, and then it kind of just took off to the point where it's, you know, if you don't, it's like an obligation. You know, like Christmas, like Christmas, like I like giving Christmas presents. I don't like getting them, but I like giving Christmas presents. And Valentine's, it just feels like forced. And I know I talked about this on the snake draft with Kevin, but man, like there have been times like this is the worst time to be in like that kind of talking phase where you're going out, you're dating, you don't know how serious you are, and it's like you're planting a flag in the ground on Valentine's Day, whether you want to or not, because if you don't, then it's just over. There is no like just taking your time.
Yeah, you're very right. It's like we said, it's a girlfriend accelerator or it's the heart out.
But you can't even really do the heart out. What kind of scumbag does the heart out like right before Valentine's Day? It's almost better to be like
a lot of scumbags.
I can't see, like, I'll just be miserable for another month and then I'll do I'll be like, hey, like I got March Madness, like you and I are done.
Yeah, like, or just sure, I'll do this so we could have the messy, hammered, wearing all green, drunk as fuck at 3 p.m. on St. Patrick's Day weekend.
We'll break up right then. Some little redhead girl will catch my eye. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is the worst. But yeah, I've definitely been caught in that situation. You end up dating somebody for, I don't know, 2 years just because you're a nice guy. That's something I'm trying to work on in my older age, is not dating somebody just because I don't feel like breaking up. So this is one of those holidays where maybe it's time to just start breaking up. Just start breaking up before you get there, before you get locked in and you ruin your life.
I'll tell you, man, on a real note, people need to take that advice to heart.
Yeah, I wish someone had come up to me at like 24 and been like, hey, I know you're trying to do the right thing here, but you don't even really like this girl. Don't do a whole Valentine's Day, and then don't keep dating her until you're 27. That would be something smart. That would be some good advice.
Dude, people just don't understand how big of a fucking decision it is to make that.
Yeah. You know. Well, I feel like some people probably do that, and then they just like end up getting married. Like they're just like, it's the same thing. Well, I guess we'll just get engaged. It's like the next thing to do.
Yeah, so you're never like trapped. You're never trapped, people.
Yeah, until you sign those documents or get somebody pregnant, there's always an out.
Yeah. All right, Chief. Anything else here before we wrap up?
The name of that Roman holiday was called Lupercalia. It's just about like the founding of Rome, but they would go around and like whipping, they would get hammered drunk and they would like make whips. Like the Roman priests would like make whips, and then they would like run through the city of Rome naked and like whip the people. But the people kind of wanted to be whipped because it didn't hurt. And they're saying that it would increase like your fertility, and it would make like having a child less painful. So like the women would like try to get whipped. And it was just like a fun, drunken thing in Rome. And that they celebrated for like 1,200 years. So when Christianity was overtaking the Roman holidays, like, we can't just leave February. Like, we need to slide something in there. And that's why they slid. One of the reasons why the Valentine's Day became a thing is they're just replacing this thing called Lupercalia, which is originally about these two Roman brothers, Romulus and Remus, who were actually like the mythological founders of Rome. But that's about it. Yeah, that's about it.
Whips and fertility. Interesting.
Yep.
Well, all right, Don Chief. Thanks. This was an unusual episode, but I had fun.
Yeah. Covered a lot of bases, made it a little bit personal, had some history stuff. It's very on brand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So thanks everybody for listening. That's it for today. And we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you then.